Hello, good evening. My name is Defamation Solomon and welcome once again to the Big Soul Show. So as you know, this is a human rights activist talk show where we usually have a lawyer on board to shed more light on things that are happening in our everyday life. Today we want to be looking at the topic defamation of character, with respect to the criminal and the legal and the civil aspect of defamation. So we have here with us today Barrister Ege, and he's going to give us more explanations on the term defamation. So Barrister, over to you.
Okay, yeah, so defamation is a correspondence or communication of an untruth or a false statement about a person. Now, it usually comes in two forms. It could be in written form and it could be in a verbal form. When it's verbal, we refer to it as slander. When it is written, it is libel. So it is not necessary that such writing be made known to the public. In as much as a third party has seen that correspondence or has seen that communication, it means that you have brought disrepute to the person. Yeah, so that's basically what this defamation means.
So it means that defamation, if I write something bad about somebody, as far as a third party does not see it, is not yet defamation.
Yes, if we're having
as far as a third party does not see it, is not yet defamation.
Yes, if we're having an altercation and I say you're a stupid man, you're a liar, you slept with my wife, which are untrue, but it's just between the two of us. I've not defamed you. Defamation has to be that you have brought that person to disrepute in the eye of people who would ordinarily have a higher value or
to that person.
Thought of that person as in a positive light, but you have now come to say something that is untrue to make that person less less in the
person.
Yes.
Okay, that's understandable. And I recently learned that there's a criminal part of defamation. The regular people, everybody are jumping around making videos after Barrister DELE's arrest, feeling like the arrest was wrong. But I recently learned that there is a criminal part of defamation which the police are allowed to come in. So can you explain that to the people?
Yes, very well. Now, many people often have this erroneous conception that defamation just say let's go to court. No, the law has gone past that. Defamation now is in two folds. There's a criminal aspect of it and there's a civil aspect of it. And the truth of it is that both of them can be pursued at the same time. You can pursue a criminal, yes, you can pursue it criminally, which can be handled by the police. And at the same time, you can pursue it civilly by going to court, by asking your lawyer to go to court and get damages and compensation for the defamation. So the criminal aspect of it is in two folds, as enshrined in section 350 of the criminal code. That's on one side for defamation. And most of the time, in more recent times, this act of defamation happens online. And don't forget that we now have the Cyber Crimes Act. So this falls under the cyberbullying or cyber stalking, which is also punishable criminally. So that way, it brings us to the point that criminal defamation is actionable and can be prosecuted by the police. Yes.
But how do we then differentiate which is criminal and which is not criminal? To what length does it become criminal? When do we keep it on the civil level?
Now, like I said, if it's two folds, the two of them can be pursued concurrently. That means that you can be facing a trial in the criminal court as well as another one in the civil court. As in the case you mentioned, Afe Babalola versus DELE Farotimi, you will see that as of today, he's being tried in Ekiti in a criminal trial, whereas we have seen that other people have also sued him in various courts, Federal High Court, even State High Court.
Like 5 other suits.
Yes, I've commenced, and those ones are pursuing the civil aspect of it, while one is majored on the criminal aspect of it. So now, how do we draw the line? The truth of it is that the law says that the prerogative is that if your statement can cause a breach of peace in the environment, the police can, as a matter of fact, swing into action to say, oh, we need to curtail this for it to become a breakdown of law and order. The other party might say, oh yes, I feel that this is I need to pursue this criminally, because if I react to the statement and I go to his place and hit something on his head, that way it's going to lead to breakdown, breach of peace. Also, there have been instances that we have seen people online who have said an untrue statement about somebody else who is a celebrity, and because that person went out, other people wanted to mob or lynch such persons. You see that he has exposed that person to fear of his life. He has exposed that person to mob action.
So the police can come in.
Yes, the police can come in to safeguard that situation, to say, okay, what would have happened if this guy has been put to death as a result of your false statements? There are some times that people will defame someone on Facebook, and you see them saying that they found out that this person buried somebody's head in front of his church. Something like that. And mob action, people will just go to the church and burn it down. In such instances, I think that it is only proper that the police wade in to ensure that such excesses don't continue.
So let's assume that the defamation was just maybe something that would not lead to any physical action. Maybe I say these people have bad business service, for instance, that would not be tagged criminal.
No, the truth of it is, when you say that, don't forget, defamation doesn't mean saying something wrong about somebody. Okay, I come and say, oh, I don't like this TV station. They are not a good TV station. It doesn't qualify as defamation if it is not false. It's my opinion. I came to your establishment, you didn't give me water. You probably go to a bank and you say the teller didn't attend to me on time. The services were poor, and that organization is saying that they want to sue me for defamation. If one or two people can establish that it's true, we were on the queue for 5 hours. You need to the balance. So when the police arrests you to say that you made a statement that is untrue, let's say, okay, I'll give you an example. You call me as a lawyer and you say that you want to use my services. You paid me ₦1 million to act on your behalf. After you paid me, I stopped picking your calls. The letter I wrote, you found that there were grammatical errors and all that, and you called my attention to it, and I called your blog that go to hell. You now write to somebody else and say that this lawyer is a criminal, he's a thief, and all that. If you're able to establish that I paid this man, he told me that he's going to deliver in 24 hours. This is 6 weeks. He has not done his job. I can't reasonably say that you have defamed me.
Yeah. Because
you're able to establish that all that I said was untrue. That the representation I gave to you of my person is not what you are saying in physical. And so be it. You even get about 2 or 3 people that can actually say that yes, this guy is in the habit of collecting money from people who are not paying. You understand? So that's where. Yes.
Okay. So if we are looking at the case of Barrister DELE, what just happened, the whole social media is on his side, let's put it that way, and they're all angry with the judiciary, particularly Fair. I heard from local listenings. I was in a ride one time, and I speaking to certain people. I began to find out that there was more to his arrest, according to what I heard from local listenings. That there were rumors of him being invited initially by the police, and he told them that the case is not criminal. He's a lawyer, so I think he knows better. So he said it's not criminal, that they have to go to a civil court, and he went to file a suit actually in a civil court. But according to what I heard, that the suit was not yet active before he was picked up. So I think the public don't have all those information, and they just feel like police are acting on a civil case. That has been a very big misconception. So let me talk about that, because I had a case one time that when my lawyer advised me to sue, to file a fundamental right action, that would keep the police off the case. Now, to what length is that impossible?
Now,
what length does it hold water?
Okay, so now the truth of it is, as of today, the Police Act gives the police a very wide and broad spectrum to investigate anything that is called a crime reasonably. That means that the police can say, oh, they can invite me for you even coming to my office to say that we saw that the gentleman came to your office and we understand that there is a fraudulent transaction going on between the two of you. They can exercise the power given to them by the Constitution to investigate a crime, to invite me and say, come and say what you know about it. That it in itself is within the power of the police. Now, because of the system that we have, because unfortunately, because of our system, when the police invites you, they say they want to charge the matter to court. Ordinarily, you should be granted bail because the Constitution sees you as an innocent person until you are presumed innocent, until found guilty
by the court.
Now, the case under reference, you see that he is in custody. The trial has not started. He's just being remanded in custody pending the time that the court will listen to his bail application. It's because of the way our system is. Ordinarily, this bail application should not last more than 24 hours. It should be something that can be granted within hours. So that's why the police...
Even if it is criminal.
Yes. You are presumed, the law says that you are presumed innocent until found guilty by a court of law. You understand? So why they put people in custody, why they incarcerate them, is because the fear of them absconding.
Yeah.
The fear of them not showing up for trial. But if you are able to establish and prove to the court that anytime you call me, I'll come. That's why the court will say that you are being released to 2 reliable sureties. That in the event that you don't show up, these sureties will be held accountable to produce such a person. Now, having said that, now you will now see that when the police invite anybody, I wouldn't know the facts, the true facts of what transpired. If the police had invited him, the proper thing would have been to show up at the police station, give a defense. If the police feel they need to say, oh, you are culpable, then they charge the matter to court. But what I would advise citizens is that anytime the police call you, show up with a lawyer, write your statement. The provisions of the ACGL is very clear, and the Administration of Criminal Justice says that anytime such a statement is going to be taken, it must be taken in the presence of your lawyer. A video, it must be recorded. So those are things that you
are allowed to.
Yes, no, not you. The police should record.
Okay, but they don't.
That's again the way the system works. So your lawyer must be present. You have a right to say, I'm not saying anything until my lawyer comes.
The last time I said that, they put me inside cell. They don't even want to hear it.
Yes, that is our system. It's the system. And one thing that I would implore that you and I should keep emphasizing is that we have the relevant laws. Let it be applicable.
Let people act on it.
Yes. Ordinarily, when you are inviting somebody, let him feel comfortable. Let him know that you have a right to a lawyer. You have a right to bail. You don't need to intimidate them. If I say I'm not saying anything until my lawyer comes, so be it.
You just
let him call his lawyer. You understand? But it's just unfortunate. Even the fear, by the time they start and say, you won't call lawyer for who? It's, at times it's so painful. You see, I've had instances that policemen will you present your ID card so many times. And you and I know every IG that comes will say, don't collect phone from boys and check their phone.
Those reforms are
they only obey it for 2 or 3 weeks.
Then they go back.
After 1 month, it's back to same old.
Sad, the country that we find ourselves in. Anyways, I think we've gotten a lot of breakdown about defamation. Now the public now knows that there's a criminal part of defamation. Because the people are looking at DELE's case, they are feeling like, okay, he was arrested over a civil issue. That's the major focus. So people are not looking at the other part that, okay, this Affair is a very influential person, and he has built a lot of lawyers. He has raised judges from his firm, actually. And I think after the lawsuit, many other people from the firm began to also fight their law. So that's the reason of all those figures that we are seeing.
Yes.
So I feel like people should just wait to, let's see how far
the matter is sub judice. That means it's in court. Let's see the outcome of it. The truth of it is that we must all ensure that we are responsible. And unfortunately, what he complained of in his book, that the judiciary can be manipulated and all that. We should, what is justice? Everybody should have a level playing ground. Everybody should have a level playing ground. It's so unfortunate. There is no justice in our society. And I have often reiterated in several platforms, and I have had opportunities to speak, to say that the day an inspector of police can arrest a commissioner to say, sir, you are parking in the wrong place, that's when you know that we have justice. The day you can walk into any police station and make a formal complaint without anybody taking a cover from you. These days, you cannot go into any police station, I beg to be corrected, without having to pay through your nose for the police to move. We have had instances of people crying to the police station to say that we have just been robbed. They'll tell you no petrol, pay money for this, pay money for that. It's so unfortunate. And it's not
even with the police force, the fire service,
everybody. I was seeing I received a correspondence from one of the parastatals, and they were saying that for you to conduct a search, you need to pay admin charge for diesel. What does that mean? And for them to even be bold enough to put it in paper, it shows you that the system is sinking lower.
Most times, it's not even this police fault, because I recently learned from a policeman that they don't, because I saw them repainting their session. I said, people are doing innovation. He was like, me, I don't contribute to the session. I said, I don't know I'm supposed to contribute. They said that I can actually do it. That it's called, what did they call it?
CSR.
Yes, that you can actually just give your contribution. I said, okay, now that I know I can be doing that, because I don't want to be involved in anything bribery. And I said that, do you think my decks, the government gave me, that he got himself the decks, that somebody also bought it for him, that the whole paint happening was happening from their pockets?
Very well.
So yes, in fact, like they're allowed to spend for themselves.
When there are some stations that you go to, you will see that each department, they have their own generator. It's the money they get from money paid for bail that is supposed to be free, that they use to foil it. So, at times, we need to look at it holistically. It is not like you said, it's not the policeman, it's the system. Because our system enables corruption.
Mm-hmm.
You have not provided electricity generator uniform for these men, and they have been funding it. How?
So they are working for their own stationery.
You understand? You are saying that these policemen are on the street taking bribes or asking motorists for money. Who deployed them to that station, to the road? Because it's just like you have an employee. Your duty is to man the camera. Mm-hmm. And you discover that he's not manning the camera. You should ask him, where are you?
Yes.
And you want to get your pay. Mm-hmm. Every day he's not going to no day work. What's going on? You need to find out. And and unfortunately, you see that this does not happen in the civil society. Sorry, in the corporate society. It only happens in the civil service.
Yeah.
Because I don't expect that. Have you ever walked into any bank in the morning and they say, the teller is not around, make una wait outside? But this happens in the...
Yeah.
If you even complain, people will even say, no, so we do it. That is not
normal.
Yes.
Anyways, that we've heard from Barrister Ige today, and we will look to have him on our shows concurrently. He's also a very strong human rights activist. I've heard a lot about him, and that's why I came for this interview. So we see you next time on the Big Soul Show. And as we have said, try and join the human rights activist movement. Always try to follow this show so you can understand your rights and the level of claims that you have against the Nigerian police. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Good evening.